Imagine this. You wake up one day and realize that almost everyone around you has stopped thinking for themselves. They repeat slogans, share headlines without reading the article, follow trends they don't understand, believe lies they never questioned. And here's the terrifying part. They think they're smart for doing it. Welcome to the age of collective stupidity. Now, when I say stupidity, I don't mean a lack of intelligence. I mean a collective failure to use our critical faculties. A voluntary surrender of our most powerful tool, our independent mind. We're living in a time when critical thinking isn't just rare, it's actively disappearing. And it's being replaced by something far more dangerous, a global hive mind that rewards conformity and punishes independent thought. But how did we get here? Why is this happening now? And most importantly, how can you protect yourself from being swept away by the tide? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never see the world or your own mind the same way again. Critical thinking. Let's start with a simple question. What exactly is critical thinking? It's not about being negative. It's not about doubting everything. At its core, critical thinking is the ability to question assumptions, analyze evidence, think beyond your emotions, and most importantly, decide for yourself. In other words, it's your mind's immune system. But just like a physical immune system, when it weakens, you become vulnerable to infection, not by a virus or bacteria, but by bad ideas, manipulation, and mass delusion. And right now, our collective mental immune system is collapsing. The problem in one sentence, the truth is, and that's exactly why most people avoid it. But when a whole society stops thinking, when it chooses comfort over truth, it doesn't just get lazy, it gets dangerous. In Act 2, we'll uncover the precise mechanisms behind this collapse and why we may be heading towards the most mentally fragile generation in history. Act 2, Deep Exploration, the Mechanisms of Collective Stupidity. Section 1, The Psychology of Mental Laziness. Let's face it, thinking takes energy, real energy. Your brain is just 2% of your body weight, but it consumes 20% of your total energy every single day. That's like driving a car with the engine always running at high speed. So your mind evolved to save energy wherever it can. And guess what's the easiest way to save energy? Stop questioning. Stop analyzing. Just follow the crowd. Psychologists call this cognitive miserliness, the tendency for humans to avoid deep thought because it feels uncomfortable and exhausting. It's why you reach for fast food instead of cooking a meal, or scroll endlessly on social media instead of reading a challenging book. The brain is wired for shortcuts, and propaganda, marketing, political spin, they all exploit this weakness. The moment you stop thinking for yourself, someone else starts thinking for you. But this isn't just about laziness. There's something much darker at play, a force that actively rewards stupidity and punishes those who dare to think differently. Section 2, The Social Media Hive. Mind and the erosion of epistemic responsibility. Scroll through your feed. It doesn't matter which platform, you'll notice something. Everyone sounds the same. The same opinions, the same outrage, the same recycled memes. Why? Because social media isn't designed to inform you. It's designed to condition you. Every like, share, and comment is part of a massive psychological experiment run by algorithms that know you better than you know yourself. The more predictable you are, the more money they make. So the algorithm pushes content that reinforces your existing beliefs and amplifies your emotions. Anger, fear, tribalism. These aren't bugs in the system, they're features. The result? An endless loop where you're never forced to confront new ideas. You live inside an echo chamber, and over time, Your ability to think critically atrophies. You become part of a digital hive mind. But there's a deeper layer here, the erosion of epistemic responsibility. Epistemic responsibility is the philosophical idea that we have a duty to seek truth and justify our beliefs. We've outsourced that duty. We no longer feel it's our job to verify information. We trust our tribe, our chosen influencers, our algorithmic feed to do the thinking for us. We care more about whether information feels true to our group's identity than whether it is true in reality. This is how a smart person can hold stupid beliefs. It's not about intelligence. It's about surrendering responsibility. But this isn't new. History has seen hive minds before, and every time they've ended in chaos. In the next section, let's look at one shocking example of where this road can lead. Section 3. Historical Parallels. History is not just full of warnings, it's a catalog of our collective frailties. Consider the dancing plague of 1518. In Strasbourg, a woman began dancing in the street, seemingly for no reason. Within a month, over 400 people had joined her. They danced for days without rest, until they collapsed from exhaustion, stroke, or even death. There was no music, no reason. It was a pure physical manifestation of mass hysteria, a viral idea that bypassed all rational thought and expressed itself through the body, a literal hive mind. This is the ultimate endpoint of uncritical conformity, the total surrender of bodily and mental autonomy to the crowd. Philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche saw this coming. He warned how herd mentality could destroy not just individuals but entire civilizations. When everyone thinks the same, no one is truly thinking. As Carl Jung once suggested, the greatest danger to humanity is not the psychopath lurking in the shadows, but the crowd that believes it's righteous. Today's digital mobs are no different. The tools have changed, the stakes are higher, but the psychology, exactly the same. So what drives this psychology? Why do smart individuals become stupid as a group? The answer lies in one of the most chilling experiments ever conducted. Section 4. The Psychology of Groupthink. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch ran a famous experiment. Participants were shown a simple line test. The answer was obvious, but everyone else in the room was secretly part of the experiment and deliberately gave the wrong answer. Here's the shocking part. 75% of participants went along with the group's wrong answer at least once, even when they knew it was wrong. Why? Because humans fear social rejection more than they fear being wrong. This is the heart of groupthink. The more tightly knit a group, the more dangerous its stupidity becomes. In online spaces, this fear of rejection is magnified to an insane degree. Cancel culture, public shaming, viral mobs. The message is clear: think for yourself and we will destroy you. So most people stay silent, or worse, they join the mob, just to survive. Section 5. The Collapse of Truth. Once critical thinking disappears and groupthink takes over, truth becomes negotiable. We've entered a post-truth era, but it's more precise to say we've entered an identity truth era. Here's how it works. We used to be a reality-based community. We agreed on a shared set of facts and then formed our identities around them. I believe in economic freedom, so I'm conservative. I believe in social equity, so I'm progressive. Now that formula has flipped. We choose our identity first. I am a conservative, liberal, progressive, etc. And then we adopt the facts that are approved by that tribe and we reject any that aren't, regardless of evidence. Facts matter less than feelings because feelings are the glue of tribal identity. Popularity outweighs accuracy because popularity signals tribal strength. It's like a society-wide hallucination. The majority believes something, so it becomes reality whether it's true or not. Think about it. If 1 billion people believe a lie, Does it still feel like a lie? This is why collective stupidity is so dangerous. It doesn't just make us ignorant, it makes us certain in our ignorance. And when ignorance feels like righteousness, destruction is inevitable. So what can we do? Are we doomed to sink deeper into the hive mind? Or is there a way to reclaim our minds and maybe, just maybe, start thinking freely again? Act 3. Transformation. Section 6. Reclaiming your mind. Here's the truth. You can't fix the whole world, but you can fix your world. Critical thinking begins with one person, you. It starts the moment you choose to pause before reacting, to question before believing, to seek truth even when it's uncomfortable. Here's how to start rebuilding your mental immune system. Today, 1. Practice intellectual humility. Admit when you don't know. Say, I don't know more often. The most dangerous people are the ones most certain of their ignorance. The wisest are those who understand the limits of their knowledge. 2. Diversify your information diet. Intentionally follow people and sources you disagree with. Not to hate follow, but to understand. If you only consume content that agrees with you, you're not learning. You're indoctrinating yourself. 3. Learn the red flags of manipulation. Train yourself to recognize the language used to shut down critical thought. When you hear these, a mental alarm should sound. Language of urgency. This is the only chance. They don't want you to know this. Language of tribal identity. Real patriots believe. Everyone who is woke knows. Attacking the source, not the argument. That's just what an insert label would say. 4. Create space for reflection. Turn off the noise, journal, meditate. Go for a walk without headphones. Think deeply about what you believe and why. Reclaim the silence where your own thoughts can finally be heard. Remember, your mind is the most valuable thing you own. Guard it like a fortress. But here's the twist. When you start thinking freely, the world will push back. Friends, family, even strangers online. They'll call you crazy, arrogant, or dangerous. That's the price of freedom, and it's a price worth paying. Section 7. The hope of the few. Every great change in history began with a small group of people who refused to conform. They weren't the loudest voices, they weren't the most popular, but they were the ones willing to think deeply when everyone else was thinking shallowly. Maybe you can be one of them. Imagine a world where even 1% of people practice true critical thinking. The ripple effect would be unstoppable. Revolutions don't start with crowds. They start with minds. The rise of collective stupidity isn't just a societal problem, it's a personal challenge, a test of whether you will surrender your mind or fight to keep it free. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you see a viral headline, a trending outrage, or a mob demanding obedience, stop. Think. Ask yourself, is this true? Or am I just following the crowd? If this video opened your eyes, don't let it end here. Watch my next video on content addiction, where we dive even deeper into how your mind is targeted and how you can defend it, because the fight for your mind has only just begun.